Today I'm here filming with the 2008 Aston Martin V8 Vantage. It is hand built in England, this slick two-seater rear-wheel drive sport coupe, and it reminds you everywhere that it's pretty much hand built in England. So today I'm going to show you everything about it, the cool things I like about it, and whether or not, you know, it's worth the sticker price or if it's worth the hype, and how much luxury does it actually come with. Alright, so we'll start right here at the front. Now, you'll see with the Aston Martin, I mean, there's nothing too crazy going on here at the front fascia. You do have a unique grille here. The styling for it is definitely unique, the curvature in it, and, you know, with that, the bumper. But really, there's nothing too crazy going on. You got nice body lines going up the hood and over the fenders. You got very wide fenders on this vehicle, 2 vents in the hood, and you know, really there's just not a whole lot going on here, to be honest with you. It looks as if it wouldn't be fast, it just looks luxurious. And you know, you just got gloss black trim here, no carbon fiber, nothing crazy. I mean, it's really not a race car, it's just more of something that looks cool and kind of, you know, you can put your foot on it and you can get going. The only thing cool that I would mention here are the turn signal lights, how they go straight up and down in the headlights. I think that's kind of cool. Something, you know, you don't really see, but definitely at this time, you definitely weren't seeing things like that. But you know, it's an English car. All right, so now you're coming on the side. You're going to see you got 19-inch wheels, and yes, it is 19. Kind of an odd size, but it is what it is. You got massive front caliper here. You've got slotted rotors and these aftermarket alloys on here, finished in black. You got a vent on the side in the fender, but it is not functional, it's fake. It just looks like it'll do something, but really it's not. And you know, we'll come right down below that and you'll see the side marker light. Nothing special, nothing crazy, honestly. I think flush mount would look a lot better, but instead of like this ball protruding, but nonetheless, it's there. It needed to be there. So we'll move back a little bit more now to the door. So now you're gonna see you got this fixed triangular shaped piece of glass here, and the mirror is actually really cool. The arm that extends from the door in the mirror is actually really cool. It looks kind of like a control arm or something, and it's unique, but these need to be out because you got your A-pillars here, otherwise your field of view would just be blocked. Nonetheless, the doors actually come on a little of an incline here. Not, I guess you could say like Lambo doors, but it's not really enough to even get high enough. But this is kind of the arch that it sits at, and it does retract and swoop up as you open the door. So nonetheless, that's pretty cool, but again, no crazy styling, nothing. It's just very bland, I would say. This is a very low-key sports car. Now we come to the rear. Now again, no vents, nothing like that. You're gonna have 19s in the rear, and your tail light, I think that's probably the coolest part of the whole car. I like the way it swoops around from the trunk to the side of the fender here. It looks very nice, especially with the clear lighting. I just think that's really cool, and that distinguishes it for this generation or this time period for Aston Martin. So we'll come a little bit, and you know, you've got your dual tip set up here on the exhaust. Of course, you got parking sensors and that kind of thing, so you're not hitting nothing. But you know, with the price tag of what this car came at, that's what you wanted. You wanted the luxury options. You want to be able to have things like that you know, made you stood out from a 2008 Civic or something like that. But you know, there's not much of a spoiler here. The deck lid kind of comes and curves up just a little bit, but it's nothing aggressive at all. There's not going to be any downforce this is providing or anything like that. No retractable spoiler, nothing cool. It's just, like I said, simple. The body lines are simple. Most of this car is just pretty much simple. Again, I just can't get over these taillights. Like, these taillights just look immaculate on this car. It just fits it so well. Better than the front. The back is definitely way better than the front. Vantage badge right there. It doesn't say V8, but this is the Vantage. You're going to have your Aston Martin logo, your third brake light incorporated in that deck lid, which is cool. And then right below this third brake light, you're going to have a little button. So you just go ahead and press that button. That's actually your trunk release. So then you can get your finger up under here, raise this up, and you'll have access to your trunk, which is not very much. There's not very much access in here at all. It's kind of a it's kind of a joke. You're not going to fit suitcases or anything like that, but again, when you're buying this Aston Martin Sport Coupe, I mean, it's like, what are you getting it for, you know? You're not getting it to bring your kids around and take them to soccer practice and throw junk in here. I mean, this is a weekend car. You know, that's exactly what this is, just a weekend car. A very minimal space, but the space is there. So when you're done, go ahead and close it. The weight of it pretty much just closes itself. Plate mount here, you've got this mesh here down at the bottom of the bumper, not functional, doesn't do anything, it's just for looks. But like I said, dual tip setup, your Vantage badge, and Bourne's, because this is where this vehicle is located here. So overall, you can see the protrusion of the deck lid here, and you know, it looks pretty nice. I like it. And like I said, I think the main thing behind this is the cleared out, you know, lights and the cleared out third brake light. Like, it's not red. Like that's what makes this stand out, and I really like that about this car. Now, to open the door on the 2008 V8 Vantage, you just put your finger on these two parallel bars right here. The other end will pop up, and you just pull it outwards. Like I mentioned earlier, the door kind of slopes up, and you walk in and you're greeted right here on a plaque, and it says V8 Vantage, hand built in England. So it says that on both the driver's side and the passenger side, so you're not going to forget, and your passenger's not going to forget that it's hand built in England. And to your door card, now you've got leather all in the door card. Very nice. The elbow padding could use some extra material, but nonetheless it's there. The door handle has kind of a slick design. That's kind of cool. You got power windows, power mirrors. Very simple here in the door card. Nothing too crazy. A door speaker. I mean, you got pretty much just the bare minimum, the necessities that you need. So you come in, and after you fall into the seat, because this thing is it's sitting pretty low, the buckets are pretty low, you throw your legs over, get in here, get nice and comfortable, and now that you're stuck, you're going to notice that your handbrake is on the left side of the seat. It's not to the right side, it's not in the middle, it's not on the passenger right side, it's on the left side here, right down by your left foot. Now, speaking of down here by your left foot, you go a little bit further and you'll press this little button, and that'll give you access to go ahead and fill up your vehicle. And then a little bit further in is going to be your hood release, so you just go ahead and pull that towards yourself and the hood will pop up, and you can have access to your engine and add some oil or whatever it is you need to do. Now, to the steering wheel, now I'd say one of the cool things about this car is the steering wheel design. Now, most of it is rounded off, as most steering wheels are, but the flat spots, instead of the flat spots being at the bottom, the flat spots are actually at 9 and 3, which is interesting. It's kind of different, weird to see, but this is a big steering wheel, and I couldn't imagine having my hands way out, so it makes sense. It feels nice. Leather wrapped steering wheel, but very hard, just very hard material, but I mean, it is what it is. Aston Martin logo here right in the center. You got volume controls for the radio and cruise control setting. You got paddle shifters here. You got your high beam toggle switch, your trip, reset, wiper stalk on the right side. Just your typical normal things. There's not too much in here that stands out. You got aluminum finish on the pedals, and you've got your tachometer. And what's nice about it is that there's a carbon fiber cover over the gauges, and it really fits. But what I will say is that it's pretty much the only thing that's carbon fiber. So, I mean, it sticks out, but then again, it's like, I mean, I would have rather seen some carbon aero or something like that. I think that would have been a lot cooler. And you've got this silver face on the gauges that looks nice and luxurious, and it's just different than most cars. It's not something you see. You come to the right of your seat, and you've got your power options for your seat with memory. You got 3 memory settings on here. Come to the center, and you got a little pocket here, and I don't know what it is for. I mean, it's just kind of weird. It's like a credit card holder or something like that. Little storage compartment to the right of that. You can lock and unlock your doors. You got your convertible top opening and closing. So come back a little bit. You got a 12 volt car charger, cigarette lighter, whatever you need to do. You got your parking sensor activator and deactivator, your rear window defogger. And then you come back just a little bit more, now you're getting closer and closer to your armrest, but you got these cup holders and they're honestly very pathetic. I would say these cup holders are just mediocre. I don't think they're going to hold anything. I would definitely only transport things with a lid, but you're probably better off just putting it in the storage compartment in the way back or the trunk, because this is just going to fall out. And to the center, start at the top, you got climate control vents, you've got a comfort mode, you've got reverse, neutral, and drive. And then in the center you got this beautiful key. You just go ahead and pull it out and you'll see it's got all the functions, and it says engine start. So you go ahead and put it back in, and once you want to turn the car on, you turn the key on, and you turn the key to the on position, and then you just go ahead and hold that in and it would actually start the vehicle. Pretty cool. Below that you got your radio, typical old outdated radio and phone settings, Aston Martin clock, and you know, airbag and your navigation, all that stuff, which is, you know, old, very outdated, but nonetheless it's there. So at the time when it came out, I mean, it's something nice to have. You've got your temperature control, your vent control, and your fan speed. All these feel very nice. They have the silver finish, so again, something cool, but none of it necessarily feels cheap. I would say that it actually feels really good, especially for the time period. So below that you got AC, recirculation mode, your hazards, traction, and fog lights. Again, just very standard things that you'll see pretty much in any car. I mean, there's nothing here that screams out of the ordinary, except, you know, maybe the comfort mode for the suspension. So to the right, you're going to have passenger is going to have the same power functions that you do, so they'll be nice and comfortable. You got your glove box here, and what you do is you just go ahead and press a button, but the ignition needs to be on. So you go ahead and press a button and it will drop, but you pretty much got your license, registration, whatever the heck you need to put in here. That's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot of room in here to really do anything or put anything in there. So you got the necessities, it's there. They gave you just enough, and they gave you just, I guess, more leg room than anything. So here we are, and we'll go through some of the nav. I mean, it's just very, very outdated. I mean, half the streets aren't even on here, but it is what it is. I mean, it's got major highways and things like that. So let's see here. I'll just go back and I'll try and zoom out. I mean, it just like pinpoints the location. You can set it on the road and it'll actually tell you the address. I mean, I guess that's kind of cool, but you know, again, just very outdated. I mean, you're better off using your phone. You've got your sun visors that are very narrow and very slim, which is kind of weird, and they don't have an option for you to close the mirror part. When you open these or put these down, you're kind of forced to look at what's behind you. You don't really have an option. You just get another rear view mirror basically. And then same thing for the passenger. They're basically going to have another rear view mirror that they can look at. But you know, it is very, you know, since the windshield is sloped, since it's so angled, these don't need to be as big as a normal car, otherwise it'll block your field of view. But it's just different to see it on something like this, especially when you go from driving an everyday kind of car to something like this. So nice finish here on the A-pillars. Love the feel of this material here. It feels nice, it feels good. You've got your dome lights hiding behind the rear view mirror, so you know, like I said, very basic options in here, nothing too crazy, nothing out of the ordinary. It looks a tad bit upscale, but I think most of what you're paying for is the pride of it being hand built and that throttle power you're feeling when you're mashing on the gas and having that V8 screaming. So now that you've heard me talk about it on and on and on and on, this is it. The 4.3 liter V8 stuffed in this tiny little car. Really, it's not too tiny, but you know, it's a small car. So what's interesting is the oil cap. So you got your little oil logo, but you know, it's like not in the valve cover, it's built elsewhere. So I think that that's kind of interesting, something different to see. You got a nice Strut Tower Bar here with an aluminum finish, which is very nice. Gas struts to hold it up, but you'll notice once you step back from the car, the hood's actually very long. It looks kind of not proportional in a sense to me. It doesn't. Hopefully you don't have to spend too much time under here, but when you open the hood, you're greeted by the thing. Again, the plaque, it says hand built in England, and the final inspection by the man who, you know, ran the final inspections on it. So, you know, I guess that's kind of cool. I guess when you own something like this, you're like, hey, you know, this is hand built with pride. But most people don't really care, to be honest with you. Most people don't care, but it just really just shows you everywhere you go. It's like, oh, it's hand built, it's hand built. Okay, it's hand built. Now I'm going to show you how to put the top up on the V8 Vantage. Ignition on, and you just hold the button. And here it comes. And just like that, with the touch of that button, it will do it all for you. And then, to lower it back down, you just pull the button towards yourself, and then you can go topless again. Alright, and that concludes my review of the 2008 Aston Martin V8 Vantage. I always thought this car was pretty cool. Like I said, I love the back end design. Would I personally own this? I don't think so. But it is a nice car to look at. It is something different. You just don't see Aston Martins every day, and this is the first one that I've seen in person that I've gotten to stand next to, and truly what an honor. So, you know, if you want something that's, you know, hey, this is hand built, nice little V8 rear wheel drive coupe roadster, you know, this would be a nice car for you. It has the nice luxury touches and the finishes and make you feel like you're in something crazy, but overall it's not that crazy. It's just crazy expensive.